Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Overthinking Out Loud podcast. I have lots to talk about today. First things first, my hair is darker. Um, let's talk about that first before I have to talk about how I didn't upload for another week. My hair. So, my hair is almost black right now, unfortunately, because what had happened was I was trying to keep up with the red. My roots were coming in. It looked like I had that weird halo because I'm naturally kind of blonde, like dirty blonde, light brownish vibes. So when my natural hair comes in, it's very evident, right? Dyed red over it. And I chose like a more natural red color, hoping for, a natural red color. I don't know why I would even think that would happen because when I dyed it red, it showed like bright red. And I was like, this is a problem because one, didn't like it at all. Didn't like the bright red. Second off, I have to have a natural hair color for work. And it was not natural enough for work. So I was like, okay, another plan. I had put a brown, what was it called? It's a gloss. And it's a brown gloss, but it has like, not toner. It's like a blue hue to it to neutralize copper and red. Put that over it. Still didn't do enough. Still unsuccessful. Still have red hair. So then what I decided to do was take all in the span of the week, 1 week, by the way. If any hairdressers are listening, I'm sorry. Then I decided to get a neutral brown color, box dye, and put that over the red. And now it's black. Borderline black. So that's where I'm at right now. Do I love this color? No. However, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. Could be worse. So that's where that's at. Also, back to me having to take accountability for the fact that I didn't upload a podcast episode last week. So I filmed one. This funny thing happens where I film one, because filming is not hard. I prop up my phone on this thing, press record, and then I yap for an hour and a half at most. Did that. Talked about a lot of things, and there's honestly things I want to come back to that I talked about in that episode, that unreleased episode that I want to come back to in this one. But I had really bad Wi-Fi when trying to upload said video, and it just never uploaded. And I was like, okay, well, I have places to be, people to see. I'll have to come back to this later. Never was able to come back to it. Never got the time. So, didn't upload. And in all honesty, for the next few weeks, the upload schedule is going to be absolutely atrocious because I have finals, I have work, I have things where I'm going out of town. I'm moving out of my dorm. Okay, I'm a busy bee. The next month is going to be crazy. So, forgive me. I'm sorry. I'm trying to upload and like get a good film schedule going so that I can, not like upload one thing and then another 3 weeks go by and then upload another episode. Like, that's not what I'm trying to do. At most, I think it'll be every other week, but I'm not sure. I'll come back to you on that one. I'll probably post on the Instagram, like, with updates and everything when I upload, what the schedule's looking like. But anywhoosies. So now that that's out of the way, I want to talk about a few things. Okay. I have so many things I want to talk about, and I want to organize myself because I just drink a coffee, so I'm very energized, and I know, okay, what I really want to talk about right now is the Avatar: The Last Airbender movie. We're just going to go for it because okay, let's get into it. Avatar: The Last Airbender. If you haven't heard this show or seen the show, it is called Avatar: The Last Airbender. And the show is from 2005, but it's still very relevant to today, just in my opinion. Aang is an airbender. There's different kinds of bending. These people have superpowers, okay? There's air bending, where you have control of the air. Earth bending, where you can move rocks and shit. Water bending, self-explanatory, it's water. Fire bending, self-explanatory, it's fire, okay? Aang is this thing called the Avatar. And the Avatar is someone who has the power to bend all of the things. Fire, earth, water, air. and that their purpose is to protect people, help people, be a peacekeeper, all that jazz. For the different nations, the Fire Nation, aka Firebenders. Well, okay, not everyone's a bender, but the Fire Nation, the Water Nations, the Earth Nation, and the Air Nomads. Aang is an air nomad. He's the last one, the last air nomad, because they were all killed in the 100-Year War. Aang got scared when he found out he was the Avatar, ran away. Ran away, was frozen in ice for 100 years. And in those 100 years, all his family, friends, airbenders, air nomads, dead. So that's where we start on the show. There's no spoilers. That's all addressed in the first episode. Okay? In case you haven't seen it, this show is like 20 years old. So, I watched this show when I was probably 12, 13, 14 years old. It was during COVID sometime, and I was the same age as the characters in this show. This show is so good. My children will be watching it because if I talk about it, I'm going to make no sense because I'm just going to be rambling. But the character development is really good. The messages about women empowerment are also very good. And about being a good person versus a bad person, forgiveness, about there's so many good themes. And it's such a good show. And I think every kid should watch it. Okay? God forbid. Now, this show, like I said, is like 20 years old. It came out in 2005. And there is a show that came out after called The Legend of Korra, and it's about the Avatar after Aang. Aang dies, and it passes on to a new person, this Avatar power, I guess. And it gets passed on to Korra. I don't want to talk about Legend of Korra because I frankly don't love that show. And I don't love Korra. Nothing against her. It's just her. The problem with that show is that Aang's team, like, Katara is a really good waterbender. He has her to teach him. And then she also learns with him. And then Toph is also a really powerful bender, and she's blind, so it's a whole other ordeal. And then Zuko and like other firebenders, are able to teach him. And so it's like he has a really set team. His team of people that teaches him how to master each element are like really talented fighters and benders. Korra, although she's kind of born with the skills of all elements, her team of people teaching her are absolutely shit at their job. And Mako specifically, I hate his character. I think he sucks. And I think his goal internally is to tear everyone apart and make everyone hate each other. That's the kind of person he's giving. I hate him. So knowing that Aang has this team of people who are all very friendly and all very like family to each other and all very talented compared to Korra, who has all these people who are fighting each other, who are not masters at their element, and just super, like, not problematic, but they're all like everyone's trying to date each other in this show, and that's like irritating. And then it obviously causes a lot of relationships problems for everyone in the friend group. So it's like she just had a really shit group. I feel like they wrote her story in that show with like so little potential. I don't know. That irritated me. But we're not here to talk about Korra. We're here to talk about Avatar. So like I said, this show takes place when they're at like teenagers, right? 12, 13. I think Toph and Aang are 12. And Zuko, he's the oldest. He's 16, 17-ish. Something like that. So the show is that Korra is after Aang dies. The movie that they've been making for years is going to be them and the gang as adults and in their 20s, right? Because there's a big time gap between the shows Avatar: Last Airbender and The Legend of Korra. This movie has been anticipated for years. It has been pushed off for years, and every time news had come out about it, I was getting more disappointed and more nervous because I know originally the original creators of Avatar: Last Airbender were like left the creation of the movie because it wasn't going the way that they wanted, so they left the project. Also, a lot of the original voice actors did not come back to voice the new characters, which for like characters like Toph, the girl who voiced Toph was, I think, like 12 or like around the age Toph was when it was being filmed, obviously. And now she's in her 30s, so it's like she totally could voice Toph, although like it'd be Toph when she's what, 20, 21, I think, in the movie, canonically. I don't remember. Um, she could totally come back for that, but I guess that didn't happen. Same thing for the guy who voices Zuko. I don't remember any of their names. I'm so sorry. But the guy who voices Zuko, because Zuko has a very distinct voice and a very unique voice, and the voice actor for him, like that, you hear the voice actor speaking it. It's like it is Zuko. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? So those people not coming back to be in the movie, or whoever is in charge of the movie not hiring them again. Like, I don't know what the details are. Okay, I wasn't in that room. I wasn't in the room where it happened. That was a Hamilton reference. But things like that. I was getting nervous. And then Paramount has the rights to the movie, and Paramount originally they were going to do a theatrical release because this movie, like I said, for fans of Avatar: Last Airbender and The Legend of Korra, this movie has been anticipated for years to see these people, these characters, when you see them grow as kids into young, like teenagers. They're now young adults, and they're building a city of peace, and they've mastered their elements like that. You want to see that, you know what I mean? You want to see even further character growth. Originally, it was going to be theatrical release. Recently, they said it's no longer going to be released in theaters. You can only watch the movie on our streaming service, Paramount Plus. These greedy companies are trying to get more viewers and more money and get their numbers up for this because they know how anticipated this movie is. And so they're canceling the theatrical release. Here's where I don't know all the details. And I don't care to look into the details, to be honest with you. Apparently, Paramount was hacked. They had the movie on saved or whatever, like the full movie. It got emailed to someone or something, and they put it out on Twitter. The entire Avatar: The Last Airbender movie was leaked. What is the movie actually called? I don't even remember. I have it saved. I did watch it. We're gonna get to that in a minute. The Legend of Aang: The Last Airbender movie was released. The entire movie. And then obviously went viral, and everyone was talking about it. So I had avoided watching it for a long time because I did kind of feel bad for the people who worked on the movie. Although they were already paid for their work on the movie, I felt kind of guilty. And then I saw more content from it, and I got FOMO, in all honesty. And I was like, okay, I want to watch this. It looks really good. Let me tell you, the movie is so good. The movie is so good. That movie could have been 3 hours long, and I would have been sat for every minute. Was the antagonist kind of predictable? Yeah, hate to say it. It was a little predictable. But like the movie, I think was so good. My only qualms are the voice actors, and also another thing was they didn't have Zuko's scar on his abdomen or his chest. And that is a very important thing in the series. And it's because Aang has one on his back and Zuko has one on his chest. And it's symbolism for the challenges they face and the character development they face. Aang was running away from his responsibilities and then eventually had to face them. Zuko had to kind of not face his responsibilities, but face the fact that he did do wrong and that he can be better. That's my interpretation of it, I guess, or the way I would word that. So the fact that they didn't get rid of Zuko, they didn't have Zuko's scar, that, I didn't like that. But maybe the movie was unfinished, maybe they were gonna add it later. I don't know. So that. I also loved the fact that it showed more about Aang's character, because in Legend of Korra, we see Aang and Katara and Toph's and Zuko, I think. Yeah, they're children. So these characters, we see their children. And Aang and Katara's children have a little bit of resentment for their parents. And it's kind of implied that not Zuko. Zuko was a good parent. That there was nothing wrong with his kids. But that Aang and Katara were not the best parents. And this movie kind of explains that in a way, because Aang is the last airbender. He has an entire culture and an entire, just way of living that no one can relate to, that no one understands, because it's been 100 years since he's seen his people and since anyone has seen his people. No one in modern day society where this takes place has knows of his people the way he does. And so in the movie, spoiler alert, they find another airbender from an ancient time. And so now he's able to connect with this other airbender on his culture and his history, his ancestry, like all that stuff. Like he's able to connect with someone about this and also learn new things about airbending from him. And then, well, if you watch the movie, you know what happens. Then, when in Legend of Korra, like between the movie and Legend of Korra, he has a son who is an airbender, he's going to be obsessed with teaching his son everything he knows about airbending, their culture, their like the tattoos, their history, and that I think is the movie explains better and shows how important his Aang's culture is to him and why in Legend of Korra all the characters are like, well, he was obsessed with what's his name, Tenzin. Like the other kids are like, well, we didn't get enough attention as kids because our dad Aang was so obsessed with Tenzin. It's like now it like doesn't it's I'm not justifying it, but it does make more sense, and you can empathize with Aang more after seeing the movie and after seeing his breakdown in a sense about being the last of his kind, which I thought was really amazing. 10 out of 10 on that. And the movie is just animated really well. I was very impressed with the animation. Katara, also amazing in the movie. She is so smart and sees through the antagonist very quickly. And she also, hey, I feel like we brush over the fact everyone died. And she brought them back to life. Obviously there were some extra elements helping her out. But like, brush over that very quickly. I feel like I watched that and I was like, oh my god, hello? So yeah. Anyways, I love the Avatar Last Airbender movie. I could talk about it for forever. I have so many edits saved on my phone. My boyfriend and my friends are tired of hearing me talk about it. So I'm going to wrap this up because I know everyone's going to be mad at me for talking. Like literally half the episode is just going to be me talking about Avatar Last Airbender because this movie is so freaking good. If you choose not to watch the movie until it comes out properly, I don't blame you. I have the link to the movie if anyone wants it. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do that. But I will be spending, if it comes out in theaters, I will watch it in theaters and I will give the money to the theater and to the, I will spend money on watching this movie again. I do not care. If it comes out in theaters, now if it comes out on Paramount Plus, I will not be watching that. I'm not getting a Paramount Plus subscription to watch one movie I care about. Anyways, so that's that. I thought the movie was amazing. It was a 10 out of 10. Only qualm, like I said, were the voice actors and that the fact they forgot Zuko's scar on his abdomen. But that movie is so good. I made a joke to my boyfriend because I think I brought up in a previous episode, I'm in my fan fiction phase. I'm back in my chud phase. I'm back. I'm 14 again internally. And now with the Avatar movie leaked, I almost said come out. It's leaked. That's not it. It leaked. Someone published the entire movie without the consent of the people, and I'm not justifying that. But it's a greedy company. Okay, steal from them. Anywhoosies. So I did read fanfiction. I did indulge. I did look at some fanfiction. And as I was looking, I was on the phone with my boyfriend and I was like, gosh, this movie has been leaked for 5 days and there's not enough fanfiction. I need them writers to get going. Hurry it up. Keep writing. What are you doing? And I was joking. He's like, it's only been 5 days since the movie's been leaked. I'm like, only? That's plenty of time. Get to writing. Get to typing. Post on that AO3. But anywhoosies. What else has happened? Another movie that we're gonna talk about. Okay, I'm sorry. The drama. Okay. I watched this a few weeks ago, actually. But this movie was so fascinating to me and it was so good. And people are really talking about it and analyzing it now. And there's stuff I want to talk about. So for those who don't know, the drama is with Zendaya and Robert Pattinson. Zendaya plays a character named Emma, and Robert Pattinson plays a character named Charlie. They're about to get married in a week, and they go out to dinner with their friends. And they start talking about the worst thing that they've ever done. And Emma's character says this one thing. I don't know if I want to spoil it. I mean, the movie, by the time this comes out, the movie's going to have been out for like 2 or 3 weeks. Should I spoil it? I won't. I'll dance around the subject. Emma says this thing that's kind of crazy. I was trying to like guess what she was gonna like the worst thing because hey, by the way, in the trailers they show this scene. They don't say they cut out what she says, but they show that she says this is the worst thing I've ever done, and says that, bleeped it, and then show the reaction of the people. And I want to be clear that they show that in the trailer because people are mad that this wasn't a rom-com, and I'm like, I feel like that is evident if you watch the trailer that it is not a rom-com, that it's more serious than that, but whatever. So she says the worst thing she's ever done. Now, the worst thing her future husband has ever done is cyberbullied someone enough to get them to move out of the state. Not a great thing to do. Obviously, that's kind of problematic. Rachel, her friend, one of her friends at this table that she's eating with, Rachel, she admits to locking a person who is implied to be mentally disabled in a closet or in a shed in the woods and leaving him there. And in the context of this dinner scene, she claims she doesn't know what happened to the kid and then retracts that and says, oh, well, they found him the next morning. They did a search for him. So her story is a little cloudy. Let's just say that. But when Emma says the worst thing she's done, which, hey, not a good thing, but also it was something planned, but she never acted on. Let's just clear that up. Rachel throws a hissy fit. Rachel goes crazy, and Rachel has a very big problem with this. I'm not saying that she's invalid for having a problem with it. I'm just saying, hey, the thing that you did, also a crime. You not kidnapped, but you locked someone in a shed in the forest in the middle of the woods. And then the key thing here is that she said she didn't know what happened to the kid when they asked her if he was found. She's like, I don't know. And then they're shocked and they are upset with her by that answer. So then she retracts it and says, oh, well, no, his dad found him the next day. So her story is not lining up. I'm just going to leave that there. So then the rest of the movie is Emma and her fiance trying to figure out their marriage and figure out if they still want to get married, figure out what, because the what she said is definitely not good. But keep in mind, she never actually did it. Never actually went there. Anyways, I thought the movie was so good. It was actually so funny. I was not expecting it to be so funny. And it was very much dark humor. If you're not into dark humor, then don't watch this movie. But I was laughing. I was unexpectedly really laughing in my seat. And it's a movie I want to rewatch it already because it's just so good. Okay, something someone did bring up though before the movie came out was the fact that people are throwing up a lot in the movie, which is half true. I think there's 3 parts where they throw up. But so if that's your if you can't do that, if you have whatever that phobia is where you can't see people throw up, then don't watch it. I guess I don't know. There's 3 parts where they throw up. My problem is with the throwing up thing, you can feel it when you're about to throw up, can't you? I feel it. I can in my chest. I can feel the acid rising. I don't know how to explain it. So it's they're just spontaneously throwing up. I'm like, okay, you're an adult. You can't feel it happening. You're just throwing up on the floor. That's where I have a problem. That's where I'm like, that's weird. I don't know. I know what maybe it's just a me thing. Maybe there are people who spontaneously are bleh, they just throw up. I can feel it and I plan for it and I make sure I'm in the vicinity of a place that I can handle business without making a mess. So that's what irritated me about the throwing up thing. But whatever. Movie is so good and it's so crazy because Emma's character, everyone not hates her, but a lot of people hate her after what she said. And it becomes a huge problem when we see throughout the movie that she does have empathy and that she is not a bad person. She gives constant second chances throughout the movie. And so it's so crazy that in the movie, when she says her shit, that everyone doesn't want to give her a second chance. And everyone's so quick to shut her down when she has constantly given second chances throughout the whole movie. So that's like the biggest thing that I had seen. Um, Also, I'm just talking shit about Rachel now. Her character's so bad. Not like bad as in badly written, but bad as in like a shit person because she's low-key a little racist. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like there's like racist undertones to her character. She's weird. I don't like her. But I thought the movie was really good. You guys should go watch it. I think that's all I'm gonna say before I like accidentally spoil something. But yeah, you know what's so funny? So, okay, one more thing before we move on to the next topic. So Emma, in my theater, when Emma admitted the worst thing she had done, the theater was silent. I was a little taken aback, but the theater was silent. Charlie does something really bad, like really baffling. Later in the movie, the entire theater like gasped. Let me tell you, the theater I was in, that was a community. That was community. We were all laughing. We were all gasping, clutching our pearls at the same time. We were silent when we needed to be silent. Like, that was a beautiful theater to be in. And I went with my two friends, so it was a good time. But yeah, the drama is so good, and I think you guys should watch it. And it just covers such like interesting topics. It really covers such interesting topics, and I think the movie addresses a great thing where because I explained that Emma admits the worst thing she's ever done, although she technically didn't do it. It was a thought. It was a plan that never went into action. Now, something that Charlie's character talks about in this movie is the fact that there are so many people out there who probably have really disgusting, nasty thoughts, but they never act on it. So does that make him a good or bad person? And it presents this really interesting moral dilemma where it's like, if you think about something bad, like that impulsive or intrusive thought, whatever the fucking word is, people debate that all the time. I don't know. That thought of committing a crime or doing something bad or saying something bad, but you never actually do it. It's never actually said. It's never actually put into action. Does that make you a bad person? You know? And that was a really interesting thing to bring up. And I was like, wow, you never know. Cause like, I've never thought about like committing a crime or anything bad, but you know, like, what it's like, oh, what if I just did this right now? I'm not going to, but like, what if I did? Do you know what I'm saying? And it's never like to the extent of Emma. I've never had thoughts to the extent of Emma. Let me just say that. Um, but it is just like interesting because I have had thoughts where it's like, what if I steal something right now from this store? I'm not going to, but like, what if I did? Do I think I could get caught? Or do you think I could move on with my life without it? You know what I mean? Like, and not like, do you know what I mean? But you don't act on it. You don't actually do that. I'm not actually committing crimes. It's just like, oh, do I think anyone would notice? I don't know. Probably not. That employee's over there picking his damn nose. Probably could if I wanted to. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I feel like that just brought up an interesting, like that movie that moral dilemma kind of thing was stuck with me. But yeah, that movie's so good. Someone brought up, and I think this is a good point, because Ariana Grande has a newish movie coming out. What's her movie? Because people are talking about Ariana Grande's new movie, the way they kind of talk about Zendaya, because Ariana Grande movie. Oh, it's a TV show? Movie? Hold on, I need to pull this up before I like get too carried away with what I want to talk about. Fokker-in-law? What the hell? Okay, I've only seen. Okay, I don't. Whatever. So, Ariana Grande has a new movie coming out called Fokker-in-law. I don't love Ariana Grande. I actually don't really like her. But people brought up an interesting point where it's like Zendaya is a super well-known actor or actress at this point. Well, same thing with Robert Pattinson. But Zendaya can kind of really get into a character fairly easily, and it's hard to see Zendaya. Now, in the drama, it's a more modern and more, it's harder to see past the Zendaya. You know what I mean? It's harder to be like, that's Emma rather than, oh, that's Zendaya playing Emma. Do you know what I mean? Whereas in things like Euphoria, I haven't seen it, but season 3 came out recently, so like everyone's talking about it. That doesn't feel like Zendaya. That feels like her character Rue, because it's such, she gets into character and her character looks so different and acts so different that it's hard to be like, this is Zendaya playing Rue. It feels more like those are two different people. Like Zendaya and Rue are not the same person. I've only watched Dune once. Zendaya wasn't on screen for that long, so I was like, I can't relate to that. But there's movies like that where Zendaya, she's so famous now, or people who are so famous now that it's hard to see past that it's them. Does that make sense? Because that's what people are talking about with Ariana Grande. Is Ariana Grande playing this character feels like Ariana Grande is playing a character. Like there's no change to her look or change to her facials or change, like, obviously Ariana Grande doesn't act like this character, but it's hard to distinguish and disassociate, oh, like this is the character she's playing and this is Ariana Grande. The same way that Zendaya does with Rue. Or I'm trying to think of like other characters or like actors that are really talented at that. But I cannot, or like Johnny Depp, for example. Hey, he's right here. But that's a lot, that at the same time is a lot of facial like makeup and stuff. But if you watch Sweeney Todd and then right afterwards watch Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, those are two different people. Those are two different characters. Like you can separate Johnny Depp. It's not Johnny Depp playing this character. That's the character. Does that make sense? And he's had so many movies where it's definitely like that, or like Edward Scissorhands, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I haven't seen the movie, but Fantastic Beasts. Like people like Johnny Depp and Zendaya can kind of more easily step into a character and it becomes more real as a character. It's not them playing it. And it's Ariana Grande in this movie, from what I've seen, it just isn't fit. It just doesn't fit. It's like for someone so famous, it's like, well, that's Ariana Grande. That's not a character. Like you can see that it's an actor. Like you can see the acting. Does that make sense? Where it's like when you're watching a movie, you don't want to see the acting. You don't want to see the actors in it. You want to be able to see the character and separate the two. And I don't see that happening for this movie. But I don't like Ariana Grande to begin with, so I probably will not watch it. But yeah, I guess in the drama, Zendaya's, I don't know. It's hard to explain, but that's what a lot of people are talking about right now. I also haven't watched Euphoria. I tried to watch Euphoria back in the day when like season 2 had come out because I was old enough to like kind of watch it. I think I was like 15, 16, like ish. And I was like, okay, well, let me see if I can get into it. Within the first 10 minutes, on my screen was Dick and Balls. Booty hole, Dick and Balls, Punani. I was like, what the fuck am I watching? Here, okay, that's another thing. That's another thing. I was talking to my boyfriend about this because the drama has some sex scenes in it. And obviously Euphoria has the sex scenes. My problem with sex scenes in movies is when we're like, it'll be a coffee shop scene where they're just chit-chatting, hanging out, and then boom, sex scene. What are we, like, such a shift. It's such a turn of events. And that I don't like in movies. I don't like that in movies. And my boyfriend was like, well, it's shock factor. It's supposed to catch you off guard. I don't like it. I don't like it. Because when I'm when I'm watching a coffee shop scene where they're talking, they're drinking their little cups of coffee, they're hanging out, they're chit-chatting, and then I blink and there's Dih. She's hopping on Dih. I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that. However, when sex scenes in movies, because he's like, I brought this up again, the conversation with my boyfriend. He's like, well, you watch Hated Rivalry, so there's no way you don't like you're completely against sex scenes in movies. My thing with shows and movies like that is they ease you into it. Like, you know they're gonna have sex. You see the foreplay. You see the flirtation. the removing of clothes. You know what I mean? Like, it's not catching you off guard. Like, they're showing you the steps to sex. Like, they're not just, you know what I mean? It's not like they're having a conversation, hanging out, and the next thing you know, like, bam, they're fucking. You know what I mean? That I can handle a little bit better because, again, I'm watching the steps to sex. I am anticipating the sex. When I'm not anticipating the sex and I'm getting caught off guard, that's where I have a problem. Okay. I also, like, sometimes in movies there's just too much sex. I'm like, well, this is unnecessary. There's like, this is not contributing to the plot. The drama, there is like one or two scenes I'm like, okay, this is contributing to the plot. Like, this is an interesting, like, perspective on, like, the sex life when finding out this worst thing your partner's ever done. However, there's definitely some scenes, not even in the drama, just in general, where I'm like, what are we doing? I don't care. And that's how I felt about Euphoria when I tried watching it for the first time. I was like, I just don't, there's too much. There's too much. Like, I feel like I'm just watching porn. Like, I'm watching produced porn. And that's not what I want to do. I'm on Tuesday at 3 p.m. God, that's not the vibe. So that's my problem with sex scenes in movies. And also, like, in general, like, sex in media, in books, it's different because books, it is that thing where it's like, they do ease you into it, and it's also told from a woman's perspective. I feel like a lot of things are told from, like, a man's perspective, and it's like, I don't care. But, like, when it's told from a woman's perspective, and it's also, like, super romanticized, like, nothing in these books is actually happening in real life. So it's super romanticized, so it's super easy to read it and be like, oh my God, how cute. I want that. Because it's not real. You know what I mean? Or even like fan fiction too. Like, you know what you're getting into when you read a fan fiction. Like, there's symbols, there's tags on AO3. If you see a tag that says smut, you know you're going to read smut. You know what I mean? So that is different, I think, because it's like, you know what you're getting into. When I'm caught off guard, don't do that. Don't do that. I'm not in the mood for that right now. Sorry, I just had to go off about that because sex scenes in movies, I think, are getting too crazy. They're getting too much. They're getting too much. Also, we had a debate at work about actors having sex in movies, and it was like, I don't know, it got very, not aggressive, but just like, so one person said, like, actors, like, I could never date an actor because what do you mean you're having sex on screen? And, like, obviously one other person, well, it's fake. Like, don't disrespect the actors, blah, 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 blah. I was like, I don't see that as disrespecting the actors or their craft. They are, in fact, mimicking sex on screen. And if I could never date, thankfully I'm not dating an actor because I could not be able to handle that. I know they're wearing the stickies. I know the coochie is tucked, or the dick and balls is tucked, or there's a little pouch on it, or they got like the sticker, or like the sticker that goes up the booty. I know it's not real. I know there's no genitalia touching, but it is uncomfortable to watch, and especially if it's someone that you like know. Like, I don't know, I feel like people who are like, well, it's just a job. It's not that serious. It is not that serious. But you're also watching a stranger. You don't know these people. If I, for whatever reason, had to watch one of my coworkers, or God forbid, my boyfriend, mimic sex on a big fat TV screen for hundreds of millions of people to watch, hey, no, that's not okay. Yeah, no, I'm not doing that. But they're not actors, so I don't know how that feels. So I don't know how that, but like, putting it into perspective is like, if that's someone you know, or like, God forbid, you're like friend, like, these actors are all friends. Well, they're all actors, so it's like they know how it works. Like, they know the technicalities, I guess. But I don't know. I can't imagine. Like, oh, yeah, no, I can't do that. That's crazy to me. Ugh. Because, like, when you're dating, like, these actors are all dating each other, so, like, they know how it works. But, like, an outsider, if I was an outsider and my boyfriend is an actor and I had to want to be supportive and watch his movie, and then it's mimic. Oh my God, I'm gonna throw up just thinking about it. I can't do that. Sorry, we need to move on immediately because I don't want to talk about this anymore. I don't want to talk about this anymore. Coachella just happened. Isn't that so fun? I want to look into what it's like to go to Coachella because I feel like it's like the influencer Olympics, where weekend one, all of the influencers are there with their sponsorships and they have to make profit and make these sponsored videos. And I feel like it's just insufferable. And then weekend two, I feel like is more normal, but I don't know. I want to look at, okay, so I opened the Coachella website and Coachella just ended. I'm filming this on a Wednesday, on April 22nd. Coachella just ended. But I want to look at 2027 advanced sale passes are on sale right now. So I want to look and see how much. Oh, Lord. Okay. So the way Coachella works, sorry. The way Coachella works is you get your ticket for the event. And then the other big payment that I'm seeing a lot of people worry about is where to stay. So Coachella offers car camping, little glamping, some might say. And it's in the desert, but you purchase like your ticket for the plot. So you get like your plot and then you can set up like sleeping arrangements and whatever the fuck. I've gone camping a few times and my family goes camping twice a year. I don't know why I said like I've gone camping a few times. I've gone camping almost every year since I was 2 years old. So I'm familiar with camping. I feel like I could handle that. The problem is like there's camping that doesn't come with battery or Wi-Fi packs that you have to like bring your own batteries for, and then there's camping that does come with batteries. We'll break it down here in a minute. General admission just to get to Coachella for weekend one is $600. And okay, well there's different tiers. What do the tiers mean? The most basic one, tier 1 general admission is just short of $600. Tier 1 for weekend 2 is just short of $550. And that's the basic ones. VIP, yeah, damn. VIP is $1,300. That's crazy. For tier 1, tier 2, what do the tiers mean? I don't know what the tiers mean. What does that mean? Can someone who's like rich and goes to Coachella tell me what the fuck that means? General admission 4-pack. Okay, I don't know what the fuck that means. I'm just gonna look at general admission. So general admission, there's 3 tiers ranging from $599 to $699. So around $600 to $700 for the weekend 1. Weekend 2 is $549 to $649. So $50 cheaper for weekend 2. In my opinion, right? That is not that bad. Now hear me out. When you go to a concert for one to see Billie Eilish. Now Billie Eilish is very famous, but in November I saw Billie Eilish. For one ticket, for one night to see one artist was $350. For an entire weekend of events and artists and music, $600, $550 to $600, I don't think that's that bad. Because it's 3 days worth of artists, and you're seeing like Justin Bieber performed, Sabrina Carpenter performed, Gigi Perez performed, Somber performed. Like lots of these bigger. I mean, Gigi Perez and Somber aren't as famous as the other two. Or like Pink Pantheress brought out Zara Larsson. Like you're seeing a lot of these big musical artists all in one weekend, and if you saw them in concert, just going to watch Sabrina Carpenter in concert, I have not seen her in concert, but I'm sure that it's probably $300, $400 per ticket to go see just her concert. So I feel like I said, for an entire weekend of a multitude of artists and also a multitude of activities to do, those prices are not that bad. Now I want to look at the prices for the car camping. Here we go. So there's different kinds of the car camping. Now I'm looking at the car camping specifically because that is purchased by, like, that is Coachella, like on the grounds. And also because I have a feeling that getting the car camping is a lot cheaper than the hotels. I saw a lot of influencers online during the like planning for Coachella talking about the expenses of hotels, even like a Motel 6, according to some people, was like $3,000 for this one weekend because they know how many people are coming and they want to make a shit ton of money. So thinking about Coachella and doing the car camping rather than getting a hotel in the area, because the hotels are thousands of dollars when they know the weekend is happening. Let's take a look at the car, because there's different kinds of the car camping. So like there's the basic car camping, which is $40 per night. However, that's ones where it's like probably farther away. You have to bring your own energy resources, like the batteries and stuff like that. Um, and you have to arrive at a certain time. The preferred car camping is like arrive whenever you want and be guaranteed a spot closest to the entrance. Powered, this is what I was talking about. This is what I was talking about. Powered car camping. So that one is arrive at your leisure in a guaranteed spot with a power outlet and access to upgraded restroom and shower facilities. That is $155 per night or $620 total. So doing some quick maths here. Let's open up a calculator. 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 So if I were to plan for Coachella, I would probably do weekends too, because it's probably going to be less busy and there's going to be less influencers. It's going to be less annoying. Okay. So that was for let's just do tier 2. That seems like a good in between. General admission tier 2 for weekend 2 is $5.99. So let's do $5.99 plus the $6.20 for the, back. For the powered car camping. Because that's what I would want, is I would want an outlet and the upgraded restrooms and showers. For the general admission ticket and the camping, it adds up to $1,219. Is that great? No. Is that the worst price I've seen? No. I feel like that is manageable. For a weekend, like I said, a weekend full of activities and for music artists, I think that is not that bad. However, the prices of the food at Coachella is also concerning. But to counteract that, cooler. Bring a cooler. Pack a few PB and J's. Bring some water, energy drinks. Hey, protein shakes. You know, I feel like obviously you'll still spend money on food, drink, and also transportation. Like I would probably drive to Coachella, like to that area, because I'm in Arizona, so it's not a far drive. So like gas money is another thing to account for. But like I feel like at least when I was a kid, I thought Coachella was $10,000 to go, which I'm sure some of these influencers are paying to go to weekend 1 and to get a hotel and then to also do whatever the fuck else they do. But I feel like this could be attainable one day for me. I don't know. We'll see. Because they're selling tickets for 2027, but they haven't announced who is performing. So I wouldn't want to pay for something that I don't know if I'm gonna like enjoy. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. VIP is too much for a general admission ticket, tier 2, and the nicer camping. That price is the same as one VIP ticket for weekend 2. So just to put that into perspective. So basically, I think one day Coachella might be attainable for me. Also, the outfits, like I get that the outfits are a huge thing, but it's like you're in the desert, you're in the sun all day, and you're gonna be active, like walking around. So people wearing these all metal dresses with dangles and like gold things everywhere, like you're gonna get hot as fuck. You know what I'm gonna show up to Coachella in? Maybe some nice shoes, some comfortable shoes, maybe a boot for some ankle support. Probably some shorts, maybe jorts, because I got that chafing. I got thick thighs, so I chafe. So boots, maybe jorts, and a t-shirt. Put in some jewelry, throw on a cute belt, some jewelry, some sunglasses, maybe a little bandana. That's all you need. That's literally all you need. I don't know why people are doing the most for Coachella. You know how James Charles had his like ass cheeks out? He had those assless chaps one year. Insanity. That leather chaps, even if they're assless, hey, even if your butt cheeks are getting some air, you had to have been your legs had been sweating. That had to have been crazy. I can't imagine. trying to think, like, what are other, Emma Chamberlain used to be like the queen of Coachella. I used to love watching her vlogs of Coachella. I loved Emma Chamberlain. I still do. I still love Emma Chamberlain. I love her furniture line that just came out. I've been sending that to my boyfriend because I love her, and I love, you know, it's crazy. So I sent, first of all, I sent those videos of the new furniture line to my boyfriend. He was like, "Oh yeah, those are really cool." And then in his class, he was like, "Yeah, we started talking about Emma Chamberlain. I don't know who that is," and like her furniture line. I was like, "That's so funny because I sent you TikToks about that because I like her stuff." Whatever. And so then he was like, "I don't know who Emma Chamberlain is." I was like, "Oh my god, oh my god, what do you mean you don't know who Emma Chamberlain is?" Emma Chamberlain, to me, I watched her first fucking YouTube video. I'm not even, if I pull it up right now, I will bet you. I have seen almost every single one of her videos, not any of her recent stuff, but her first video was her vlogging when she was in her high school, and she was wearing her uniform, and she was talking to her teacher, and I vividly remember this. And yeah, I watched it, and I've loved her vlogs when she was, what was it, when she was friends with what's their faces, Hannah and the other girl. What's the other girl's name? I don't remember. It was this genre of like Visco Beach SoCal aesthetic Brandy Melville vlogger girls. And I watched all of them. Yeah, Emma Chamberlain, where's her first video? I'm gonna scroll all the way down. Or like when the Sister Squad was a thing, when it was Emma Chamberlain, Ethan, and Dolan, and what was it? The other, Grayson Dolan, Ethan Dolan, Grayson Dolan, and James Charles. I loved them. I used to eat those videos up. Also, just fact check myself. Apparently, Emma Chamberlain, her first video 8 years ago was a try on thrift haul. I swear to God, she had a vlog of her in school. Hold on, I'm not crazy. Maybe she deleted it. Yeah, first day of school vlog. When was this? Okay, so it wasn't her first video. Okay, so maybe I lied. But that's the first video I watched from her, was that first day of school vlog. Oh, I'm just scrolling through her videos. I just miss her. Not her. I know she's not dead, but like this aesthetic and this lifestyle. I wanted to be her so bad. I thought she was so cool and so funny. She still is. I think now she just has a different aesthetic, which is totally okay, I guess. But yeah, so I've just loved Emma Chamberlain for a long time. And she used to be the queen of Coachella. She used to always go. She had good outfits that I felt like were weather appropriate. And I don't know, I just loved watching her vlogs on it. Or other people. That's the only person I really watched like Coachella vlogs of, just because like I wanted to know like more realistic. Like some of these people just romanticize this shit, and they're like, "This is Coachella. This is so fun. I'm having such a good time." And then in reality, they're sweating their ass off. They're sunburnt. They're crying. Their feet hurt. Their legs hurt. But for that 10-second clip, they're like, "Oh my God, this is amazing." And they're also on a sponsored trip. So it's like they're getting a tent with air conditioning, and they're getting free food and free activities, free water, when like the average Joe Schmo doesn't get all that. So it's like, I don't know. Blur. I don't know. It's just interesting to see that stuff. But yeah, people who performed at Coachella, Bieberchella. Let's talk. I want to talk about Bieberchella. I didn't grow up super into Justin Bieber. The only Justin Bieber era I was obsessed with was Beauty and a Beat. Because that music video, Beauty and a Beat, when everyone is dancing at the pool and everyone is body rolling, when I was 10, I thought that was the sexiest thing I had ever seen. That to me was an awakening of a kind, of a sort. So that's the only Bieberchella I would be signing up for, or Bieber song music video, I guess. I like Maria too. Maria is a good song, but I was never like a die-hard fan. Okay, now people were upset that Justin Bieber was like just sitting up there playing YouTube off his computer. He was founded on YouTube, so I'm pretty sure that's the vision. And also, like, when he performed, like when he was younger, everyone like made decisions for him, it sounds like, and that he didn't have a lot of autonomy over what the performance looked like. And it was a lot of dance, and it was a lot of like just a lot of stuff. So, like, now that he had more control in this one, I'm assuming he was just like, I just want chill vibes. I just want chill vibes. So that's, I mean, to my understanding, that's how it was supposed to be. And look, I don't think it's bad. I thought it was pretty funny. When he pulled up that clip of him, he's like, it's not clock and shit, I'm standing on business. He pulled up that video clip and performed it in person. I thought that was hilarious. Um, Sabrina Carpenter, her performance, I haven't seen so much of her performance. I just see that she's like, people are trying to cancel her. Now, oh my goodness. Okay, so am I justifying everything that happened? No. But so, okay, someone, I think it's an Arabic thing. I'm not 100% sure. Do not quote me on that. But there is a type of like chant or like yell that this culture does. And Sabrina Carpenter paused her performance and was like, who is yodeling? And like made it a thing that they're yodeling. And then when the person said, oh, it's my culture, it's a cultural like thing, Sabrina Carpenter was like, don't do that. I don't like that. And made it like kind of weird. Now, was that the right reaction? No. If someone's like, oh, it's my culture, it's a cultural thing, saying, I don't like that, don't do that at my show, that is kind of weird to say. That is kind of weird to say. But she later did apologize on Twitter. She's like, I didn't know. That's what that was meant to be, whatever the fuck. So she did technically apologize, but people are still trying to cancel her. And I'm like, this is my problem with cancel culture, and I think I've talked about it before, where it's like people will apologize for something and be like, my bad, didn't realize that that was like, my bad, I shouldn't have reacted like that. And people are like, okay, but you did react like that, so you're done. I'm not listening to you anymore. You should be canceled. You guys shouldn't let her perform anywhere anymore. What the fuck do you want from these people? Like, celebrities will come out and apologize and be like, my bad, like, I really didn't mean to do it, like say that, didn't realize it was a cultural thing, or like whatever it was. And it's like, what else do you want from these people? Literally, what else do you want from these people? Do you want their firstborn child? Do you want their firstborn child? Do you like? What do you want? I'm trying to think of like another example of like of that, because there's definitely some celebrities or like influencers that are like inauthentic with their apologies, and you can tell who's inauthentic with their apologies. And then like there's some that's like, oh, genuinely my bad, genuinely didn't mean that. Or like people, I don't think anyone genuinely tried to cancel Vanilla Mace, but that clip of her, she like didn't know the song that she was like singing, like she was like literally like saying the word watermelon over and over and over again, just like being silly. And then the song that was like playing in the back that she was like mimicking said the N word, and she was not singing it, and also did not lip sync the N word. She was saying like watermelon and just chewing on air for this thing. And then she started laughing, and people like took the clip and it went everywhere. And I was like, this is funny. This is funny because she didn't know what the lyrics were. And it's like, but it looks like she didn't see the N word. You fucking idiots. I don't know. Sometimes there's some things where I'm like, cancel culture is just getting me too much. I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to think of like other examples, because there definitely are other examples where it's like, my bad. And I've definitely had those moments too, just like as a human being, where it's like, okay, I filmed this one podcast episode. It didn't get uploaded because it was not good. I was talking about health and wellness and things like that. And then I started talking about like people who are in poverty and how they can't afford to eat fresh fruits and vegetables because it's more expensive than things like ramen or canned goods. I didn't say it that eloquently though, because I wasn't thinking, and I said, this is what I said it in a really poor way. I said, this is why people who are poorer are heavier in weight. And that that sounds bad. When you say it like that, it sounds bad. And it's definitely not the appropriate way to word that. But in reality, in a more eloquent way, these things like these ginger shots and like herbal, what are like other like fresh fruits and vegetables by the pound are more expensive, or like fresh chicken, different kinds of chicken, like frozen chicken nuggets is gonna last you longer than 3 chicken breasts in this thing. Do you know what I mean? Or like, what's like the other, because there's like a whole video I watched on it about the comparing prices of like canned goods versus the fresh stuff. And it's like, yeah, the canned stuff is cheaper. or like this version of milk is cheaper. Does it have as much nutritional value? No, but it's cheap. And so people who can't afford these nice concoctions and fucking sodas, like Ollipops. I love Ollipops. Those things are expensive. Those things are really expensive. And I'm not saying like Ollipop is good for you by any means, but like compared to like a Dr. Pepper, yeah, it's going to be lower in calorie and sugars, like obviously. So it's like things like that is what I was trying to get at with what I said. But the way it was worded, I was like, wow, that's not how you should say that. And so it's like knowing that I've made mistakes like that, and I'm like, hold on, that needs to be reworded, because saying shit like that is not the right way to address a problem like that. It's like celebrities do that too. They're also human. And it's like, hey, I realized, I was like, damn, I really could have said that totally differently. Like that sounded really problematic the way I worded that. When the fact I was trying to convey has truth to it, I just was not very eloquently spoken at the time. It's like celebrities are being watched all of the time. There's paparazzi everywhere. There's a camera everywhere. There's a fan everywhere. And so it's like one wrong way of saying something and you're cooked. You're done. You're canceled. It's like, I can't even imagine how many times I've said something like, and then had to reword it because I'm like, that's not the right verbiage I need to use to convey my point. Do you know what I mean? And like people online, I see it too earlier. Like if I was a celebrity, I'd get canceled in 2 minutes. It's like, I mean, yeah, because some of these people probably are like racist or like homophobic or something. Like they're probably not like all good people, but like it gets to a point where you're like, or like talking bad about someone when you're gossiping with your friends. Hey, if someone's ugly on the inside, I'm sorry, but I am gonna make fun of their looks too. Because when you're an ugly person on the inside, now it makes you look ugly on the outside. You know what I mean? Your blue eyes weren't ugly until you started calling people who don't deserve it a bitch. It's like, okay, well now you have these piercing blue eyes that are ugly. Or like your hair is ugly. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Maybe the eyes wasn't a good example. I had someone that I knew in high school who had a joke that she would make where she's like, I don't think blue-eyed people are real. I think the blue eyes are cameras. Like there's no way you're naturally born with blue eyes. I think that's crazy. And I understood it was a joke, but like some people were like, are you for real? She's like, yeah, blue-eyed people aren't real. They're lizard people. And I was like, okay. Like, I get the joke. I think it's funny. And the people are like, actually, shut up. Shut up. Or on Twitter one time, I had this group of friends who we would all cancel each other on Twitter. And one time I made a tweet and I said, I don't like sushi. And then someone said, oh, okay, so you're racist against Asian people. That is what it feels like to be on the internet nowadays. That is literally what it feels like to be on the internet nowadays. I was a victim of that when I wasn't even famous. It's like, but it's a joke when you do it with your friends, but like obviously like when people really do that, or like, oh my gosh, sorry, this is my last point, and then I'm gonna wrap this up because my laundry is probably done by now. Excuse me. That fact that the kid, what's his name, Percy Jackson, the curly haired guy, he is like a young, attractive looking actor, but he is in high school. He couldn't go to prom because Frico fans, Doritos Locos Fricos fans, couldn't fathom him going to prom with another girl other than them. Hey, you guys are strangers. He's an actor. He's famous, girl. He does not know you. But these crazy ass fucking fans were like, if I see this, what's his name? If I see so and so at prom with another girl, I'm gonna kill them. Literally sending death threats. Hey, sending death threats to people at this kid's school because he's famous and he plays Percy Jackson. He's a good-looking actor, and they're delusional and think that they can have a chance with him. Girl. And this poor kid posts online, he's like, I'm not going to prom because you guys are sending death threats to every girl at my school that if they dance with me, that you guys are going to kill them. Like, you guys are, like, and he was like, thanks for, like, being pieces of shit, or whatever he said. He posted online about it. And I was like, that is literally so sad. That is literally so sad. Like, people are so parasocial nowadays, and I think it's actually crazy, and I think people need to shut the fuck up and get a life. Go touch grass. Go outside. Go on a hike. Jesus. Get out of your room for 2 seconds. Anyways, I think that's gonna wrap that up. I have more to talk about, but I will have to we'll talk more about that next week. Um but like I said, these next few weeks are gonna be a little crazy of a upload schedule. I apologize in advance. But just keep up on Instagram and I'm sure I'll be posting about, updates if I'm busy and I forget to film something in time. So forgive me. But yeah, I think that's all for today. I hope you all have a good week. Good luck with finals if you're a college student like me. I believe in you. You guys got this. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. A lot of me rambling about nerdy things, but just be like that. But yeah, hope you all have a good week. See you next week.